Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are we all doing? Welcome to twitch.tv/Ice Cream Plus. I was looking all over the place then because I could hear my own fucking audio coming back through. What the fuck? How are we all doing? How is the audio? Let me check it first. Let me check it. It seems good. Nice. Yeah. Welcome into twitch.tv/Ice Cream Plus. My name is Graham Day. How are you doing? You had a good weekend? Are you ready for what looks like it's going to be an exceptional day? Weather-wise, not necessarily football news content-wise, but weather-wise, it looks like it's a good day. So, yeah, nice. The pubs are open-ish. The beer gardens are flowing-ish. The sun is out-ish. So let's all go and get drunk so we can keep our eyes off what is happening in the world of football right now. Anyway, Bib now has his mic on, so I'll read Bib.
Good morning, sir.
Good weekend, sir.
Yes, but don't worry, guys. There's nothing wrong with your monitor. You don't need to change the brightness. You don't need to change the saturation. Everything's okay. I am sunburnt. It's nothing to do with your with your screens. But yeah, it's a very good weekend. I didn't play games once this weekend, Graham. What about you?
Do you know what? I don't think I did. Let me just think if there was. Nope, I didn't turn on the PC or the PlayStation at all.
Yeah. No, I wasn't in this vicinity. I wasn't in the studio. It's just far too nice this weekend to be inside.
I did a lot of outdooriness, but then also Mr. Gary Clark has resubbed for 6 months in a row. Thank you very much, Gary Clark, and also shout out to Gagad as well for dropping the sub before we went live, so you didn't get your notification on screen, and I can't replay it because it's not in Streamlabs. But appreciate that, Gagad, for 8 whole months of being a subscriber. Massively appreciate you all. Thank you very much, everyone else. I love you very much. By the way, just want to point out, I do mention it all the time because we are very grateful. But anyone that does sub, anyone that does not sub, even if you're just viewing the stream, hosting the stream, rating the stream, it all helps. So we appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys. Especially when the sun is out, it all feels so good. Nice. I didn't. We had a little bit of outdoor stuff. Watched some football. Watched some TV, and dicked around with my internet because we got a new router to install yesterday, which looked pretty decent. But then it shit itself before the end of the day yesterday. So I think the internet could potentially go down today too. But we will see. We will see. How did you all get on this weekend? Did you all have a good weekend? Did you enjoy the sun? Anyone play any games? What have you been playing? I literally didn't play anything, though. Like you say, it was only when you said it then. I'd not touched games. The last bit of gaming that I didn't even do. It was you doing it. I was watching you playing State of Decay on Friday on the channel, so I didn't even play games.
That's the last game I played this weekend.
Well, do you know what? Do you want to play a bit more today, babe?
I would fucking love to, Graham.
Nice. Okay. Well, if you want to stick around on the channel today, we will do the scoop now, and then we will have a couple of hours on State of Decay afterwards. So if you want to see some State of Decay, you want to see State of Decayed playing State of Decay, well, that's what you'll be thinking because I've never played it before. I installed it on my PC and haven't even opened it up, so there could and probably will be technical errors, issues, and all sorts of stuff. But we'll figure it out together. Nice. Anyway, let's jump through the chat and see who is with us today. It says Tito, I see you, the Super League of podcasts. If only we had all the cash. Yes, please. Shaw says vibes. I'll read Shaw. Lake's in as well. Also, Lake, that I was talking to Baby about it as the countdown was running. The way that you've done the what do you even call them anymore? The ASCII emojis, text emojis, or whatever you want to call them in the chat.
Yeah.
With it, hands doing that. In my head, I can only read that as hey, oh, yay, oh. Anyway, chappers.
Doing what?
I'm not noticing again. Chappers says, LOL, I'm starting my very own football league where in Manchester United and City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea and Liverpool are immediately banned. And if they try to join, they can with a 30-point deduction every season. Try and buy your way out of that one, you horrendous bastards. Lake says, pubs open today here and they can be open until 5 p.m. That is just mental. Kevlar says, lovely bright day up north for a change. Absolutely. Manchester looks exceptional this morning. Good morning, Kevlar, as well, by the way. How are you doing, dude? Vern's in the chat. I'll read. Morning, fellas. And Mr. Gallic Clark as well. Obviously, we know because he dropped the sub. Bibi has 2 modes, completely white or completely red.
Very true. Very true.
See, I don't even have that. I have like completely white and then I have a gamble between off-white or maybe a little bit red, but straight back to white again. My skin's like concrete. I'm not like one of those people that just sees the sun and just explodes. I just kind of either absorb the sun and nothing happens, or reflect it onto everyone else around me. So yeah, pasty white. It's just a way. It's just a way. A European Super League featuring the elite teams of UK, Man City, Man United, Chelsea, and Spurs and Arsenal? What the fuck? What a joke. Like says, Madden NFL. Football is dead, says Tito. Gonna be a Villa fan. Gary played F-All. That's based on financial clout, pal. Whichever way you look at it, is pretty shite. Do you know what? I will stop there, and I will run through the intro so we can jump through the news, and then we can all start fully onto the conversation. For those of you who don't know, if you haven't seen our posts on social media, we're just trying to have a little bit of a chinwag about the European Super League news. We usually focus on video game content, and because it's the biggest story in if not the UK and Europe, potentially the world right now, the European Super League, i.e. big teams potentially breaking away to form their own league. We wanted to have a conversation based on how that potentially could affect video games. Obviously, from the off, we don't know how that affects that. And the reason I want to say that is because obviously some people might know that Bib and myself do work with Konami through Jelly Media. So I wanted to be fully disclosed that we don't have any inside information. We haven't spoken to Konami about that. And all of the thoughts and stuff on this will be our own. So we don't know. We don't know. But we'll jump on that in just a second, because for those of you that don't know, my name is Graham Day. This is Bib, and in true, we are Ice Cream Uploads, should I say, and in true ice creamy fashion, this is The Scoop, the UK's #1 video game podcast, even if we do say so ourselves. We're going to give you our thoughts and impressions on the biggest, the best, and the breaking stories from the world of video games and football over the next hour or so, and we want your thoughts and impressions on our thoughts and impressions. If you are in the chat, please feel free to get involved. We do go live each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish. It's 11:16. We go live at 10 a.m.-ish on twitch.tv/Ice Cream Upload. So please feel free to get involved in the chat with us every day when we go live. It's important that you do that because we turn this live stream into a podcast, a video that goes on YouTube, an audio podcast that goes on iTunes and Spotify and SoundCloud and Google Play. So loads of places where people can watch and listen on demand, but they don't get to get involved in the conversation. So that's where you can use your thoughts and impressions. Before we do that, though, if you would like to just type !loot drop in the chat, you will find out how, if you're a subscriber to the channel, you can get yourself a prize free every month. Not every month guaranteed, there's a chance of winning a prize every month. Also, ! insert coin if you want to find out where me and Bibby do, the After Dark streams. Not like that, calm down, calm down. Also, ! Muscle Moose to find out where the lovely people from Muscle Moose send our snacks from. We get snacks and we enjoy them. They're free. And you can get snacks with 25% off by using the code. Nice. Lovely. Lovely. Okay, quickly going to jump through the chat then so we can catch up. Played MLB The Show 20 for a bit, then got angry about footy. I thought it was all about fans and football. Exactly. That's what it is all about, right? Right? Return of the Mac. I'll read, Northern lads. I'll read. How's things, dude? Sad day for the purists, but to be honest, football in England sold in 1992 and we've all facilitated it in some way. Correct. Go support a local non-league team. Elite football is dead. Tito says it's the curse of being a day-walking ginger. That's day walker.
Yeah, it's true that.
That's very true. I'm done with football now. If this goes ahead, my membership will be getting cancelled as I can't support the shambles. Okay, we will stop again. I will stop again. It will make more sense if we can just get the article that we are using as the basis or the kickoff point of the conversation. Because usually we want to just jump in and have this conversation anyway. Let's just talk about the European Super League stuff. Obviously, we like to base the articles, the show off of news articles. Someone poses a thought and we use that as a leaping off point to jump forward. Naturally, the European Super League news is very, very fresh. Nobody has any information on what it is, so nobody can really extrapolate to what that means for video games, which is the reason why we've gone to a completely new site, because we've basically had to jump into the realms of blogs to find someone that has started to put any thought of prose together in terms of how they would discuss or angle this topic. Spoilers, it doesn't go too very in-depth, but that's where we can do that afterwards with you. So the first news article of the day is from a completely new source, and this is written by Semir Omerovic at Altchar, I don't know. Anyway, welcome to the scoop for the first time ever. Alt Char, whatever it is. Welcome in, welcome in. Anyway, the title of the article says Liverpool, Barcelona, and other clubs to join the European Super League. What does this mean for FIFA? Obviously, we're going to extrapolate because obviously we play a lot of PES. So it just means football games in general, but naturally this article focuses on FIFA. Liverpool, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juventus and other European giants have officially joined the breakaway European Super League, which could potentially result in banning from all other competitions at domestic, European or world level. Well, it's finally happened after months and months. Actually, probably it's over a decade, isn't it, when Arsene Wenger first started talking about it. But after months and months of talks, the biggest European clubs have officially joined the brand new competition named European Super League, or ESL. Sucks to be ESL today, by the way, Esports League or whatever, it's Electronic Sports League, because, yeah, their name has been shit on heavily today. Anyway, those teams have decided to join the ESL, a decision that resulted in a big controversy among football fans online. You may ask, what exactly is ESL and why are people so outraged at this decision? Well, it's basically, in its name, a competition where Europe's biggest clubs, including Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool, Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, AC Milan, Juventus, and others will be playing each other. But the key part is the ESL will not be recognised by UEFA or FIFA. So it's basically a breakaway competition. UEFA already announced in a joint statement with the English Premier League, Italian Serie A, Spanish Primera Division, and other leagues that the participating clubs will be banned from all other competitions at domestic, European or world level, and players could be prevented from representing their national teams. Now, what exactly does this mean for games with FIFA licenses such as EA Sports FIFA series? Well, at the moment, it's very hard to say whether the plans for the ESL will reach their final stage, and that's the kickoff in August 2022. If this indeed happens, then it's safe to say that these teams will not appear in FIFA 22 or PES 2022 games, at least not under their real names, badges, stadiums, and player names, similar to how unlicensed clubs are present in the games right now. At the moment, there is no official confirmation from FIFA, EA Sports, or Konami regarding the ESL in FIFA and PES. So take this part as speculation and not something that is set in stone. But to be fair, it would be really hard to imagine FIFA 22 and PES 22 without the world's biggest and most popular teams, and the same goes for domestic and international competitions. Imagine the English Premier League without the top six, or the Spanish League without Barca, Real Madrid, and Atletico Madrid. Not really that attractive anymore, right? Question mark. All in all, it will be interesting to see where and how exactly will this European Super League story end. Could this be just a scheme to put pressure on UEFA and domestic FAs to offer these clubs more money and better TV deals? Well, this is exactly what we think it is, and in our opinion, it's only a matter of time before UEFA and FAs do that. So this article basically says it's never going to happen, but it's a way to kind of get change. And change, when I say that, I mean change of both the actual differing situation variety and also the change cash variety. What are your thoughts, Bib?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to the video game side of things, if this was to happen in video games, and just using the article that we mentions mostly FIFA, and I think they've got probably more to lose with this, with all the licenses that they currently do have, it wouldn't surprise me if the European Super League managed to broker a deal with FIFA to make it something to do with that. So, like, we've got the World Cup and the European Championships that happen. You can add them as DLC into the game. Going back years and years and years, like when FIFA 12 and 14 came out, you had to buy the DLC for the Ultimate. Well, maybe not for the Ultimate Team, but I can't remember what FIFA it was. But you could play the European Championships, which acted as like an Ultimate Team. So when you beat the team using different scenarios, you would end up getting one of their players, and then you'd go on to different things. That was a really good game mode, but it wouldn't surprise me if FIFA 22 was bare bones, and then they would make you buy the DLC for the European Championships. Because very much like what AEW are doing now, they want a wrestling game, so they're taking use. They're going to create a wrestling game. If there is competition out there and there is rights to be bought, someone will buy them and create money off of them. It's essentially why they're trying to break away from all the current domestic leagues and trying to make this European Super League. They want the clubs that are entered in this one want to make as much money as they can. How do they do that? Okay, let's take a little bit of change from the FIFA Ultimate Team side of things or the FIFA 21 sales, because that is a multi-million pound video game. Let's get into bed with those. We'll make a lot more money doing that. So it wouldn't surprise me if we did see this, if all of this comes off, because at the moment in time, obviously it's been announced who are the founding clubs of this competition. Nothing is absolutely set in stone yet. It wouldn't surprise me if it did happen. I think I seen a tweet from Chucky this morning about we didn't think that the Premier League would happen in the early 90s. It happened, and we've been funding it ever since. Is essentially what's happening now. But teams want to get more money. They want to get bigger TV deals, want to be a part of something that's bigger. I mean, for any fan that's part of these clubs and the history that's been around for so long, having no Premier League, having no FA Cup, having no players that are represented at international level, having no League Cup, not being entered into the Champions League every single year, if your team is good enough. Again, City and Tottenham have never entered it, but we're still a part of this European Super League. So, I mean, obviously City won the European Cup, but they've never won the Champions League, but we're still part of this Super. It's obviously because of how much money they actually make now. But yeah, it's bonkers.
Yeah, that shows you more than anything that it's purely a financial thing. Because you've seen all of the, football Twitter is possibly the most active meme Twitter that the world has ever seen. It's not always good. Sometimes it's quite horrendous, but it's quick regardless. So naturally, last night and this morning, all I'm seeing is like, these are the 12 teams that are involved in the European Champions League. And it's like, when did they last win a league title? And then you kind of go back like to United and it's like 2013 or whatever it was. I can't remember now. All time slipping away. I don't even know what year it is right now. But then you go to like Spurs. What was it, like 1962 or something like that? And then it's like all the teams that are in the the European Super League. These are the teams that when they last won it, and then it was like Arsenal, NA, City, NA, Tottenham, NA, and it's just like, okay,
it's bonkers.
But that shows you Spurs not won the league since before my dad was born, and he's not even alive anymore. So he had a full life, and Spurs didn't win the league in his life and afterwards, but they're still a super team. And that shows you that it's not about prestige, it's about financial prestige. And I think someone, I don't know if it was Vern or someone mentioned it in the chat, and he says it's all about spend power, that spending power. Spurs are a big club financially, and they have a big following. I'm not saying they don't have any history. It's a bit shit. I'm using that to build the sort of narrative kind of thing. They do have history, but are they better than teams of similar sizes? Leicester are in. Leicester have got a cup final and won a league in the last few years. Are they a European super team? And it's that sort of thing. It shows you that it's all very financially driven. Just before
it literally is. It's just bank, but it's just who's got the biggest bank balance that we can try to take out. And nothing's pissed me off more this morning than seeing City do something that they've tried to fight against for so long. It wasn't that long ago that we was getting fined by companies of this ilk for turning onto the pitch 30 seconds late, but then in the same match, our players get racially abused, and then we get fined more than they do. It has blown my mind this morning.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to cover everything because there's so many different angles, and we only have an hour for the whole show, so we'll miss a lot. So apologies if we don't go too deep into certain areas of it. But I tweeted something this morning saying it's funny because I was obviously in the car. School's back in, so I drove quite to school, had the radio on, flicking between 5 Live and Talk Sport. I know. I'm sorry. I did listen to Talk Sport because I wanted to get all opinions, but it's listening to the way that UEFA and FIFA. I tweeted saying it's funny listening to the mainstream media call UEFA and FIFA these holier than thou institutions now that are almost like charities that are being robbed from. And I'm thinking, okay, all right, yeah. I mean, a player got banned for, 10 games the other day because she racially abused someone. And then you've got it's probably not the greatest example, but it was just the one that came to mind because it was on a linked tweet last week. Rio Ferdinand got banned for 8 months because he missed a drug test. Didn't he do the drug test afterwards and didn't have anything, but because he was late for it, 8 months.
It's outrageous.
Do anything that, like, City come onto the pitch 30 seconds late. That's it. You're interfering with our broadcast. That means we can lose money. So no, and it's UEFA and FIFA aren't these glistening beacons of footballing hope. What is it? There was something the other year, like, was it about 40% of people in cup finals, be that FA Cup finals or World Cup finals, maybe my stats are quite wrong, but either only 40% of fans in the people in the stadium are actual fans of the competing teams, or it was 60%. But either way, around half of the people that are in a stadium, I'm pretty sure it's 40%. I could be wrong, so take that with a pinch. Let's just say 40% for argument's sake. Only 40% of the people in the stadium, I mean, it's shit year because it's the fucking COVID year, so no one's in the stadium. But the FA Cup final, Leicester-Chelsea, only 20% are Leicester fans and 20% are Chelsea fans. The rest of them are corporate partners that have just been given, oh yeah, you sponsor us. Here's a big wedge of cash and an executive suite, and you can come and sit the match. So UEFA and FIFA aren't beacons of hope and shining lights, and how to fully look after everything on the pitch and off the pitch. Obviously, the races story is another angle where we can go down into a big rabbit hole, but we don't have the time to go that deep. But they're not perfect. They're not great. However, I mean, just because I believe that, I don't believe that the European Super League is right either. But I think it shows you that when people, I'm going to say people, I mean the mainstream media, and I mean brands like Sky and BT that actively fund the Champions League and so on, if they are saying, oh yeah, this is well shit, it's like, but you're the ones that are paying billions of pounds for prices for football and have driven up the price of football since 1992. So take media outlets with a pinch, because they have their own vested interests. Not necessarily that their interests are different from yours, but their vested interest is maintaining the status quo that is financially beneficial to those. Just your vested interest is to make sure that football has integrity and stays competitive, and you can, as an actual fan of football, enjoy it and actually attend games. Doesn't go against what BT and Sky want, but it's not necessarily the same reasons for why they're saying it. Okay, let me jump back up, because Asim did have some big comments, and I was going to jump on them before they disappeared, but I expect chat will move pretty quickly today. Given my history, I can sum up this with some educated knowledge. It will only majorly impact FIFA, as they have deals with major leagues and the UEFA Champions League and UEFA Europa League. That said, if their legal team did their work, there will be clauses that allow them to break out and or get money back. If not, they could be screwed out of money. PES/Konami-wise don't impact them too much. They don't have huge deals with any of the major leagues apart from using their names, e.g. Serie A. The majority of the deals they have are done directly with the clubs, not leagues/competitions, unless those deals with clubs have competition-related clauses. PES/Konami not really impacted. Plum Rico says top six is Leicester and West Ham, so purely judged commercial clout. Exactly. Chapper says Real Betis have deleted the Super League clubs from their website's league table. I love it. Oh, that's amazing.
Sorry, boy, fucking class.
So who sits at the top of the league table on the Real Betis website? That's class. And in the FA Cup and Champions League place this year, exactly. I mean, Spurs, what are they in, 7th or 8th? Is it? I can't remember. I did watch football on the weekend, but I'm an old man. I struggle to retain information anymore these days. But like, are they potentially not even making Europe at all, let alone Champions League? You are
Sevilla, top of the La Liga. We've taken out Barcelona, Real Madrid, Sevilla, Villarreal, Real Betis, and Sociedad. Fucking class.
Nice. Where did we get to? I wonder how many people are on the esports ESL Twitter complaining like those people who want to stop the far right English Defence League margin against tweets to EDF Energy's Twitter account instead of the EDL. There is a person on Twitter called, I think I've mentioned this before, there's a person on Twitter called @FIFA, I think it is, @FIFA or something like that. And she is the reason that Twitter for the football game is @EA Sports FIFA, because she got there first. And I don't know I think her account is private now, but I remember her bio saying something like "not a football federation" or something like that. And then there's
one called Alison Becker as well. The lady called Alison Becker, and so when he was having the season of his life, she just kept on getting tweeted constantly.
there's I think he's an Indian IT guy called RVP, and it's his name, and he's like not a footballer or not a pro footballer or something like that. I remember looking at him at one point in time. Amazing. Outside of the game stuff, UEFA, FIFA, Premier League, Sky, BT, all complicit in get to this point. Let's not sugarcoat it. Just that, for many, this is the final straw. Rich owners and their clubs ring fencing the sport. Agreed, Asim, says Chappers. That's why the only real solution, if you're outraged about this, is to completely fuck off the elite levels. Tito says, I agree. The fact that certain leagues have to qualify in playoffs, even if they win their league, yet the EPL get multiple guaranteed spots, is criminal. Chappers, Sky killed football. They're only annoyed because they've been played this time. Exactly. Bigger bully. A bully gets angry and shouts about the negative impacts of bullying when bullied by a bigger bully. That's what it is. Yep, it's fucking heart-wrenching. Thankfully, I enjoy other sports. If this does go ahead, I'll focus more on them. Tiddlywinks it is. I wouldn't be surprised if I got a deal to broadcast the ESL. You never know. You never know. The argument will be they want to bring it to the fans. If they didn't broadcast it, somebody else will.
That's a load of old arse. That put it this way, right? If these teams have to get taken out of their respective domestic competitions, one, how much will your season ticket be? Two, it doesn't fucking matter how many games you get played at home because travel to go abroad will be even more expensive. Like if you had to go and play Real Madrid one week and then had to go to play Juve and then AC Milan the following week, that is a fucking outrage, and that is why the modern football fan is is now priced out of football. Like it costs like £55 to go and watch City, and it in my head it wasn't that long ago. Circa 10 years ago, it was like £25-30 to be able to go and watch. Our cheapest season ticket was £300, which is one of the cheapest in the league. It is a fucking outrage. Like this amount of games that you were going to at home for the price of your season ticket, we've just been priced out of football. Now is actually the time, and I'm glad that obviously I've followed Hyde United for some years. That my love for City could go to the wayside. I just concentrate on following Hyde United all the time. That may be one of them things where like fucking he's following two football teams, but you got to support your local football team. And I go to watch them quite a lot anyway. So for me, it's not really that much of a big problem. But having a football club that was predominantly working class, very similar to United, obviously, United have just become a global force over the last 30 years. There was previously, went through a massive lull, and now obviously they are still a global powerhouse despite not winning a league for nearly 10 years. But these are working class teams that are now no longer.
Yeah. It's a working class sport as well, isn't it? That's the kind of thing. I mean, it's not a working class sport. I think I don't know if it was Asim or someone. Basically, the point that I want to touch on, I can't remember who said it, and there's a lot of chat, so I'll leave it. But it was basically, this is the straw that broke the camel's back. We've all been complicit. We all have paid for Sky Sports. We've all bought branding and football games and all of the rest of the stuff. So we have accepted it. The issue is the ignorance in the greed of how far they've tried to push it. Oh, well, people are just going to take it. All right, yeah, fine. Okay. We'll push it even further. And the fact that, I mean, I was looking at, when I was talking about like 40%-ish of major cup finals are attendees to those. Only 40% are fans because the other 60% is corporate stuff. I was looking into that and I couldn't find the actual numbers, which is why I'm saying take it with a pinch. But I remember like seeing things like Liverpool's Club World Cup. Only 1,500 tickets were allocated to Liverpool's fans. I mean, I know that's kind of it's an international thing and it's taking people away, but only 1,500 tickets were allocated and it's an international thing. Well, this whole thing's international. And then it was something along the lines of the FA. We're talking about. I did see the FA Cup saying that 28,000 tickets per team were allocated, so that's probably more like 60%. And they were saying that 28,000 tickets per team have been allocated, but only in the last few years have they got to those levels because 5 years ago they were getting criticised for being incredibly low. It was less than 25,000-ish or whatever, so they slowly boosted it up. But even that, the way they shared that, it was like out of all available tickets, the clubs get 80% of available tickets. No, but that's available tickets. There are also tens of thousands of unavailable tickets that you just give to corporate partners. So once again, it's greed. You're hiding things. You're not being legit. So yeah, do you know what? I've got the solution. Let's just give up on football. Let's give up on football because okay, we've got the European Super League on the table. We know that's very, very money based, and it's going to be very greedy, and it won't benefit the working man. Bibby's saying it costs a bajillion pounds for tickets. The World Cup final in Russia, it was like 900 quid for a ticket to the final. 900 quid for a working man sport per person. If you and your family, say you're a family of 2.4 family, 2 adults, 2 kids, it's going to cost you $4,000 to get into the stadium. You've got to get to Russia, which is obviously inflated prices, costs hotels and stuff. It's already an expensive game, and now they're pushing it even further. Yeah. So we can't trust the European Super League. FIFA have proven that they're happy to cash in as well, as is UEFA. So let's do away with football. Me and Baby will start off a new governing body, not the FA. We will, rather than football, let's call it Kicksphere. There we go. Who wants a game of Kicksphere? Ice Cream Uploads the inaugural Kicksphere League. So we'll get Manchester.
We will have Man Blue and Man Red.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Let's start the Kicksphere League. I mean, tickets will be capped at like fucking 25 quid maximum. Your 25 quid is your prawn sandwich ticket. Yeah. That's what you get. So yeah, Kicksphere. There we go.
It was a 20 is plenty campaign for away teams, wasn't it? That had to get brought in at one point, because they tried to travel just as much as it was to go and watch your team away. I mean, away days are so much better than the home games anyway. But 20 is plenty was something that they had to force through. And let's not forget, this time, 1 year ago, the Premier League was trying to charge us £15 to watch fucking Burnley versus Fulham or whatever it was. Like, it wasn't that long ago that this was just being out. I mean, that wasn't even on top of your BT Sport or Sky Sports package. So footballing governing bodies have and broadcasting companies have never really given a shit about the people who buy their merchandise every single year, that go to matches, that shall we say fund the players' wages. Because let's be honest, your £900 as for a season ticket doesn't even fucking scratch the surface. That doesn't even buy the shoelaces that go into the football boots of the players that are representing your club. However, if you go to a non-league football team and you pay £300 for your season ticket, you can pretty much find out who your season ticket price is going to on the players on the field. It's just the way it's been for the last 20 years. And I mean, this is Rich coming from a City fan who has seen so much success over the last 13 years since we got taken over. Football for me has started when I was in the 90s, when I was born. And my granddad was the person that used to go to Main Road every single week. He's the one that's brought me up to be a footballing fan of Manchester City. We've gone through so much shit. We've had a lot of downfalls. We've had a lot of success. And this is coming from someone who has the deepest roots in football in terms of how football is played, how it's supported, how the whole economy of football is. And now it's literally just been taken away from all of those fans. And that's not just speaking from me. That's literally coming from... I mean, it was kind of rich for Gary Neville to go in yesterday. Everything that he said was right. But it's kind of ironic coming from someone who's ended up buying a football club and pumping millions into that football club. I mean, make them the best teams in the league.
That's kind of what I was thinking when you were talking about like supporting your local clubs. And I'm thinking, okay, well, my local club, the closest club to me is Manchester United. So, okay, well, fuck that. Okay, we'll get rid of that. So then the next one would be Salford City, but that, whilst it's not that level, it is outspending every other club in its league and the league above it and the league above it, and it has been doing that for years, so that they're getting back to promotions. So yeah, it's a little bit, it's not the same, but it's kind of the same. so for me, it would be back to Huddersfield Town, which is a club that did £50 season tickets. You spend 50 quid, you can renew your season ticket for the next year. And then when they got into the Premier League, what did they do? They cashed in? No, they didn't. They stuck to their 50 quid for your season ticket renewal. You supported us to get to the Premier League, 50 quid to renew for the next league. And then they stayed up in the Premier League. Yeah. So then they cashed in, didn't they? Nope, they stuck to the 50 quid renewal. So if you're a fan of the club, you can stay being a fan of the club at 50 quid. Boom. Yeah. That's the kind of stuff that you want to see. That is football. That is, I mean, Huddersfield Town, I mean, the chairman basically came out and said, we're getting a massive payout from the Premier League, so why should we get a massive payout out of the fans' pockets as well? Yeah. Because they've got us here. Why should we take the piss out of them at that point in time.
Yeah.
And that's the difference. That's that mentality of, okay, we are nothing without the fans. How many stadiums, even United Stadium says football is nothing without the fans, a quote on the seats. Okay, how many fans were consulted? How many fans were really thought about? And it's not, the shit thing is, we all know it's not United. We all know it's not City. We all know it's not Arsenal. It's the people with the ties and the shirts and the suits sat around that table going, yeah, but how much more money can we get?
Yeah.
So me as a United fan, I'd be calling out the Glazers. That's what I'd have to do as a United fan, because that's who it is. And that's the shit thing. Is it's football has always been a business, and that's fine. But it's when the business outweighs the football too much, and it was already too much, and now it's just insulting.
I'm very interested to see how this filters down to the other clubs, though. Like, the one thing that, as soon as I thought that this was going to happen, and we then started to get confirmation, because I think it started to pick up a lot of pace yesterday afternoon, and it wasn't until this morning when I woke up that the communications kind of were official. But the way I saw it was, if they have to leave like, for instance, we'll talk about City because that's obviously a subject for me. But if the City players had to leave the Premier League, no FA Cup, no League Cup, no Champions League, they wasn't allowed to represent their countries, and they're only allowed to play in this competition where it's a league format, but you're only going to be playing against a certain amount of teams in a weekly basis, because apparently this is meant to be a midweek competition to go alongside your leagues. But if the Premier League condemn it, then they're out of the Premier League and they just have to play this competition. So you go into Juve and you go into fucking Barcelona, Real Madrid, blah, blah, blah. What will that mean for the players of that football club? Because I can guarantee players like De Bruyne, whoever players like De Bruyne, players like Gundogan, who are like massive advocates of their country, have captained them numerous times, like Edison. What does that mean for those players? Do you reckon those players are going to stick around for your clubs?
No.
Because I reckon the Premier League will end up, whatever broadcasting money. I had this discussion with my mate Mike this morning, and he was saying, well, the Premier League won't want to broadcast the likes of West Ham versus Leeds. I mean, they're doing that now because it's the Premier League, but the money and because these major clubs aren't in there anymore, does that mean that the broadcasting money will start to diminish? But if those players from our top teams end up going to the likes of West Ham, end up going to the likes of Leeds, end up going to the likes of Southampton, to the likes of Leicester, does that mean then the stock of those teams will end up being increased and the Premier League will want to reinvest into it? Like, we'll end up seeing like the likes of Leicester potentially and West Ham dominating the league. I mean, obviously West Ham are having a phenomenal season this year anyway, regardless of the money. A lot of it's to do with the likes of signing Jesse Lingard and big performances from the likes of Mikel Antonio and Declan Rice. But yeah, Sir Lingard. Like, what does that mean for the Premier League and those teams? Do they then become the face of the Premier League? Does that mean that the money will end up going to them? They can buy bigger players?
I think we don't get to that point. The way I see it happening is two ways. It either happens and it goes alongside the Premier League, or it doesn't happen. I do not see another way that happens. And the way it happens is everyone remains resolute, and it's fine. Okay, it's not happening. Okay, if we can't have our time in the Premier League and have our players playing for their national teams and so on, that would be not only a big gamble for the club. I mean, they are getting 300 whatever billion or whatever it was, 30 billion, I can't remember, silly money they were getting. So that's still potentially attractive for the club, but if the club loses all of their key assets and can't compete, then that's a worry. So if the FA and the Premier League and so on aren't on board with it and they can't get them on board, I can't see it happening. That said, I think this is where we get to, if anyone's ever watched any form of political drama and it is attending dinners and you see them where it's like, okay, we've got 3 votes, we need 8 to get it passed, and they start to court the weak links. Okay, you're a weak link, we will sort you out. We'll give you a speedboat and a mansion in Manila, kind of thing like that. I think that's where it happens. Either they get people and turn people, which is money, 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 or it doesn't happen. I can't see it being in a world where the Premier League and this do not coexist. They sit at loggerheads to one another. There's loads of different angles as well. We're running out of time for it, but like, I did see people like Tito's comment there says, I mean, the whole concept aside, how quick will the same 12 teams playing each other get stale? See, I don't necessarily agree with that as much. I did see a few conversations on Twitter with like some people were saying, yeah, but those matches are incredible. Watching United against Inter Milan or whatever, those are the big games that you want to see. But and then obviously there's the trade off of but the fact that they don't happen all the time, and it's the best versus the best. That's what you want to see. It's not necessarily that badge versus that badge. And if you put those 12 in a league, and suddenly Inter Milan are dog shit and sit down in 17th or whatever, ninth, because they're split into two groups of 10. Anyway, if Inter are sat in ninth and suddenly Leicester did get in as one of the outside teams and it's Barcelona versus Leicester, nobody ever thinks that as the big icon showstopper event. But if those are the top two teams, that kind of evolves. So I don't necessarily see the issue in terms of match repetition. That would probably evolve with me, because the same fixture year after year after year can be a good fixture or a shit fixture or a bad fixture. I mean, if that was the case, we'd have stopped talking about the Manchester Derby a long time ago, because more often than not, the Manchester Derby is most exciting until kick-off, and then it turns out to be a really shit game most of the time. Same with most other derbies as well, because nobody wants to lose it, so everyone plays a little bit cagey. Someone scores, fair enough, it gets a bit spicier then, but so that doesn't...
But the likes of, that's the thing though, United versus Real Madrid, massive game. Like AC Milan versus Barcelona, that's a massive game. You only get to see those usually in the later stages of a Champions League. You very rarely get to see them in a group stage.
Unless someone's fallen from grace and got into the second or third pot. Like AC Milan versus United versus, fair enough. We can play some big teams, because we played against PSG last week.
But that's the thing, innit? Yeah, until, like you say, unless your team falls from grace, then you end up in a dodgy pot. But those are staples. Like when you think of European football and absolute giants, those are the fixtures that you look forward to. There's a reason why the papers and the media and the fans always get excited about those, because by the time those fixtures start to come around, fair enough, you'll end up playing against some team that they've had to go through 17 qualifying stages to be able to get there. You play them in the group, that's fine, put them aside. But then you get to the quarterfinals, you get to the semi-finals, you see these massive footballing fixtures with so much rich history in there. Teams that have played against each other many times, but in high-profile situations, and now that's going to be every single week. It's a bit boring, isn't it?
See, it jars with me more from the fact that you always have to have lesser people, and it's a shit turn of phrase, but like you need.
Sorry, Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly. You need the crapper teams to be below the top teams. That's just how the league structure works. And that little fish in a big pond kind of thing, you will get big fishes in a fucking ocean. So you put Barcelona, Real Madrid, and all of them lot in the same thing. The reason they're so big is because they win their leagues, but you can always question how competitive the Italian league is on the global stage anymore. For the last 10 years, has it done much? Juventus have done some decent bits. They've got close a few times. Spanish football is decent at the top, but then drops off significantly. If you put all of those in, you can't have them. It's not a case of irresistible force versus an immovable object. Something has to give. If not, it becomes a league of draws. Everyone's so good that there's draws all the way. No, someone will be shitter. And then Inter Milan, 5 years into the league, will become the whipping boy because they're just the team that finished 15th or whatever. Yes, fair enough. They will have stupid money because they're stuck in this cash cow situation. But everyone above them has even more money. So why would people go to Inter Milan when Real Madrid have won it for the last 3 years in a row and get 10 billion a year? So teams won't be these prestigious teams that everyone wants them to be. This league full of prestigious teams, yet it is until you create a hierarchy, a ranking, and then someone becomes shit. That's how it has to work. My biggest issue with it all, though, is the lack of sporting integrity when it comes to it's like you see it in fucking in old stories and whatever. That it's almost kind of like a story that sits somewhere between xenophobia and almost racism, the outsider, the gaijin sort of stereotype. It's a case of we are old blood. Harry Potter. I'm a pure blood or whatever. I'm a pure blood. I'm United. I was here in big way before you new money people are. That you've got a bit of money, you've done all right in the Premiership, and then through the qualification periods, and you've managed to get into our league. It's creating a class divide. If the European Super League existed and it wasn't a case of we've bought in because we are super rich and we are pure blood now, so we stay. You go up and down. I mean, what happens if there's 20 teams in the Super League? 15 of them are ever-present teams that will stay there forever, and 5 of them go through the qualification stages. What happens if all 5 of those teams finished at the top of the league? Do they not get automatic re-entrance into the next year? We know you were the superest teams in the superest league, but actually you don't count again. We're pure blood, so we get to stay, get out. It just, where is the sporting integrity there? Where is the competition that everything is based on? And if your team do have a shit season and finish last, they don't actually get relegated. You just start again next season. Where's the risk? Without the risk, I play PUBG because there's a shitload of risk in it. I've wasted 35 minutes of my life because someone sat in a corner. That's the risk of playing PUBG. The reward is, fuck me, I smashed that guy in the corner and now I'm a fucking tank and I've won the game. Yeah, best feeling ever. But
I wondered when a PUBG was going to get shoe on.
Yeah, exactly. Fucking, you can't have a debate without PUBG mentioned. But that's the point though. If I was playing PUBG with cheats, it's cheating. Just last week we were talking about cheating, wall hacks, and like invincibility cheats. That's what it is. Every one of those 15 teams has an invincibility cheat. Okay, well I finished last, but I still got £30 billion or 30 million, 300 million, whatever the numbers are. They're astronomical anyway. Either way, quid's in. Where's the? Nah, it's just there's no sporting integrity there. It's just it's money.
Dropped a link into the chat of Anders Herrera. I just put a statement out about it, so I'll just drop the link into the chat.
I cannot see this. Is it further up?
But again, it's further up.
Yeah. There you go.
There's been a lot of movement in the chat today.
Yeah, apologies if we're missing a lot of comments. It's just I knew it'd be a spicy conversation. So apologies if we are missing stuff. Okay, Ander Herrera, I've not read this. So I fell in love with popular football, with the football of the fans, with the dream of seeing the team of my heart compete against the greatest. If this European Super League advances, those dreams are over. The illusions of the fans, of the teams that are not giants, of being able to win on the field, competing in the best competitions will end. I love football and I cannot remain silent about this. I believe in an improved Champions League, but not in the rich stealing what people created, which is nothing other than the most beautiful sport on the planet. Amen. Genuinely one of the nicest people I've ever met in the world of football, by the way. Although I did think he was a bit of a shit when United played against PSG in the Champions League, but we'll let the slide. It's competition. It's on the field. It's fine. But that says it. That says it. Nailed it. GG Ander Herrera. Asim says, Ander Herrera plays for PSG. Oh, the irony gif. Well, there is that. But that's it, though. There is levels. Nothing is ever clear cut. And the worst thing is like when you present a comment like Ander Herrera's done, people will often use that to just shit on it. And people, I put a comment out yesterday saying you can be against the ESL whilst also being fully aware of the irony of Sky talking about money ruining football. And someone said it even better than me. They were saying, oh, look at this. And it was the Micah Richards clip that they shared on Twitter. And it's like, look at this, Sky taking some content from behind their paywall and sharing it for free to the masses to talk about how money is ruining football outside of their paywall. It's like, yeah, exactly. There's so many different, it's not clear cut. There are so many overlapping grey areas. But yeah, Ander Herrera is saying the right thing, but plays for a club that has just bought Neymar for bajillions of pounds. Just bought 5-6 years ago now, but 300 million, big wedge of money on the Spanish La Liga desk kind of thing. Yeah. Pot kettle black-ish. It's just a matter of where the tolerances are. Where's the hats today? Is it windy? Haircuts. We both got haircuts last week.
Yes.
That's what it is.
Yes, I'm feeling a little bit more human, so I just want to show my trim off. And I got sunburnt yesterday while wearing a hat playing golf. So I know I'm not going to get sunburnt in my house, but I need to even it out. So I've got really white parts of my head and then really red parts of my head where my hat was. So that'll be getting sorted out later on.
For sure. Yeah. Sorry, I may have been trying to jump through chat then and not really taking in what you were saying, which is why I just said for show. But I was trying to see if there was anything major that I'd missed. Ads did say something. It's gone now. I can't find it. It was about... There we go. Champions League is a scam also. Celtic and Rangers play 8 games just to get into the group stage. Winning your league should put you into the group stage. It's called the Champions League, for fuck's sake. Exactly. Yeah. And why isn't that? I mean, you're the champions of an entire country, but why do you not get into it? Because your league doesn't generate enough money. And because you don't...
That is a joke.
Which is exactly the same as the ESL. Their rankings are based on money. So that is the same thing. So the Champions League isn't innocent. It's fully complicit. It's just jealous that someone's taken what they've been doing and put it on a bigger, grander scale. It's a bigger bully. Beats a little bully. That's what it is. Anyone want some new non-doom and gloom football game-related news? Captain Tsubasa Rising New Champions has signed a partnership with League One, which will see kits of 17 teams, no PSG or the Olympic clubs, become available via logins and challenges. Q, James May, Dacia Sandero, anyway meme. Anyway.
It's just a shame that Captain Tsubasa is just a terrible... Well, it looks like a terrible football game, and I play a lot of terrible football games. That looks... a game that I will never ever play.
Yeah,
I didn't actually watch Iceman. Was it Iceman that was streaming it? I'm fairly certain it was. I watched Iceman stream it a couple of months ago, maybe, and yeah, it was not for me.
Manchester United withdrew their 99-2000 FA Cup competition due to their participation in the 2000 FIFA Club World Cup Championship in South America. Should never let them back in. It's similar sort of thing, but also
audio's gone.
What's gone?
Your audio.
Oh, okay.
St. Paul and Wall is back.
Nice. On that note,
at least the internet didn't die.
Let me just nice. Yeah. Okay, gonna jump to the hold slate. We'll see you in about 30 seconds. Bye. Hey, how is the audio? Let me test. Okay, it's good. Back into split screen. That was interesting. If you are watching, welcome back. Hi. We were live just a few minutes ago, but then my audio shit itself and my Streamlabs just gave up live, so I had to do a full restart. But we're back. We were talking about the ESL, not Electronic Sports League, that you might be aware of. It's about the European Super League and what it means for games. Do you know what? We haven't really delved into too much about what it means for games, really, because we've been talking about what it means for football. No doubt we're all football fans. But we'll wrap that story up because we've been speaking about it for the best part of an hour now, as you'd probably expect with it being the biggest news in the world. Testicles. 1-2. Snoop Dogg. What is that? What's the fucking... Oh, I can't remember. It's the one where he's on a plane. Anyway, testicles, 1-2. Anyway, it's a bit buying
Soul plane.
That's the one. It's a bit like buying £1 tea from a burger van while wearing £5,000 Gucci suit. I don't do what? Yeah. It's. I'll just nod and wink. Nice, yes, I agree. The biggest issue for the Premier League, if this does happen, and if the teams in the ESL are banned from the PL, is that the league will stagnate over time. Advertiser broadcast will put less money in. Top players will only want to join the teams in the ESL, and the quality of the Premier League will diminish. See, I have less issue with the ESL if it becomes another tier above the Premier League. I mean, the Champions League effectively is that. You essentially move up to that. So I don't have an issue with it when it's something like that. But when it's something that has limited restrictions and there's a certain group of people that are in it that can't get into it, then that's where it loses all its integrity for me. So, yeah, I mean, that will become horrendous. That will become something where only the best will want to play. A bit like a lot of people go to Europe because they want to play in the Champions League. But the only way you can get into the Champions League is by playing in a team in the league. That's cool because you have to be in the league to get into the Champions League. They work together. Whereas this is no. You have to be in the league just for your normal games, but only certain teams get to play in this. Just elitism. Nah, it's not good. It's not good. FIFA, the game, can't make a deal with ESL because the original FIFA is already against it. Exactly. I mean, that's the point there in terms of if FIFA will ban it, then there will be, okay, well, you can use the FIFA brand. but not with anything that has around that. I mean, Asim did kind of touch on that a little bit earlier on, saying in terms of there would be EA would be entitled to some kickbacks, some paybacks, because if they've paid for the FIFA license, which gives them licenses of X competitions throughout the world, and suddenly a shitload of the top names or top clubs or top teams aren't involved in that, then that will have massive financial implications for the cost of the license. So FIFA will be able to claim some of that back. The game FIFA, EA, we'll call it EA. So there is a bit of back and forth in there, but yeah, just in the same way we had the conversation a few weeks back about EA can't make FIFA 18 plus because FIFA the federation want football to be for everyone. And that kind of goes against this whole thing. I mean, if football is for everyone, as long as you were in the right club that had the right amount of money at the right period of time. I mean, Tottenham haven't always been one of the richest clubs in the world or in the UK. I think if you go back 20 years, I don't know. So someone will probably be able to pinpoint a time where Newcastle, like when Newcastle won the league, were they a much bigger, more financially stable club than Tottenham? So should the European Super League have been thought of then Newcastle should have been it. Tottenham's prestige is not necessarily the amount of money that they've got, it's the time that people asked you to provide that money. If you're providing it right now, Spurs are a rich team. Provide it 20 years ago. I mean, fucking Blackburn Rovers won the Premier League. So if we'd have done it that season, do they get into the European Super League? Now they're in what? League 2 now? So who knows? So yeah, it's the only thing that defines who should be in these leagues is time, not money. It's because your money is irrelevant. It depends on how much money you've got at that time. Whatever money you've got now, if you play really bad and get back-to-back relegations, then your global appeal and your influx of money is irrelevant. You might not be. You're not of the right caliber. You're not pure blood enough to be in the Super League at that point in time. So yes, let's try wrap that up quick. What does it mean for games? Nobody knows. We did say that right at the beginning. Nobody really knows. It probably means more for FIFA than it does for Konami. Asim said the same thing as well in terms of Konami's licenses. Does it really matter if teams drop in or drop out or whatever? Because Konami can put PES players, should I say, the community put teams in that don't exist. Who plays as Man Blue? Not many people. Do you play as Man Blue, Bib?
I do not.
Would you play as, Bib?
Manchester Blue.
There we go. Manchester Blue. No, he plays as Man City, but they don't exist in the game. But we found a way past that. So okay, well that's kind of fine. The community will find a way. Not so much on FIFA, and that's probably where we are for now. But I think obviously we can't extrapolate too much other than it might not happen. There's a very, very strong chance it will not happen. But there's a very, very strong chance that this could make change for the good. Long story short, if the holier than thou organisations that we keep hearing about today, FIFA and UEFA that have been hard done to, and the FA that have been hard done to, if these were on the ball and had things sorted and every level, financially looking out for their fans, making sure that players were cared for in a way that didn't have fucking two games in 3 days kind of thing, and also maybe trying to deal with racism even just a little bit. If all of this stuff happened, then maybe we wouldn't have these conversations to begin with. So yeah, hopefully the European Super League doesn't exist, but hopefully it starts some of those conversations that should have been finished, let alone started right now. Anyway, let's put a pin in that. Thank you everyone for joining in those conversations. We'll jump into one news story for today because we have been talking for quite a bit. We do have quite a few news stories, but we'll just jump into one. Because it's one that we did touch on a couple of times last week, and it's an interesting... this whole show has been about money and getting the right price and looking out for your fans kind of thing, but there's an interesting debate going on around Days Gone. Have you ever heard of that, Pip?
Yes, I have heard of it, yeah.
Oh. Well, let's talk about it a little bit more. As Days Gone is the final news of the day. RHIANNON Bevan at the Gamer says Days Gone lead hits back at gamers who don't buy at full price. John Garvin, director of Days Gone, had some choice words for gamers who don't buy at full price. Days Gone director John Garvin speaks of his frustrations with consumers not buying games at launch, declaring, quote, If you love a game, buy it at fucking full price. As reported by VGC, Garvin was responding to a question on whether or not he was pleased with Days Gone recently featuring on PS Plus as one of April's free games, as well as responding with the expletive. Garvin complained, I can't tell you how many times I've seen gamers say, yeah, I got that on sale, I got it through PS Plus, whatever. Interviewing Garvin was a game designer, David. Oh, this is the guy that I talked about the other day. Jaffa, Mr. Cake. Interviewing Garvin was game designer David Jaffa. He followed by asking Garvin how someone could know they love a game until they've played it. Garvin didn't relent, responding, quote, I'm just saying, you don't, but don't complain if a game doesn't get a sequel if it wasn't supported at launch. He then goes on to say, quote, I think the uptick in engagement with the game is not as important as did you buy the game at full price? Because if you did, then that's supporting the developers directly. The director then shares his observations on Sony's apparent lack of work in fighting game piracy throughout his 22-year career with the company. Quote, we would show them torrents. A torrent site had 200,000 copies of Dark Mirror being downloaded. If I remember it right, the numbers could be wrong, but regardless, I was pissed about them. It was like, this is money out of my pocket. This wasn't Garvin's only notable comment in the interview. He also spoke about how he perceived Sony's only interest to be what critical reception a game receives other than sales. In spite of some rough reviews, Days Gone sold better than all of the studio's previous games combined. In its release month, it finished in second place across North America, just behind Mortal Kombat 11. The anti-PS Plus sentiment doesn't seem to be shared among other members of the Days Gone crew. Game designer Jeff Ross seems to be enjoying the newfound attention the title is receiving and shared a fan-made petition encouraging Sony to greenlight Days Gone 2. Days Gone was released as a PS4 exclusive in 2019, and it's set to be ported to PC in May on May the 18th. A sequel was pitched to Sony, but according to reports, was rejected. As reported by Bloomberg, the reason for this rejection was due to a lengthy development of the first title and the poor critical reception. Do you know? I don't necessarily disagree with what John Garvin is saying. I don't think he's done not even a he's done nothing that sounds like any form of a good job of saying what he's saying. Bib, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I know for a fact that I am part of the problem with this. I find it very difficult to be able to stump up 55, 60 quid for a game that I haven't got any kind of history with. I'm working in an industry now where we tend to get games for free as well. But me and you, obviously, when we get games for free, if there's a way inside there for me to be able to get season passes and things like that, I'll end up buying those down the line anyway. It's very difficult for me to be able to comment on this because we do get a lot of free games, but I do end up buying a lot of games as well to go along with that. So I can see his point. And in some instances, it's very well made. I also feel like you can't. And the first time that I played Days Gone was because it was part of the PlayStation 5 collection. I had my eye on it. It was a very polarizing game until I played it for myself and realized I actually really did like it. What he's trying to suggest now is maybe I go out and I buy that game for full price again now, or maybe I just take the punt in the first place. Games do cost a lot of money. And like I said, I'm in a very privileged position that I actually get a lot of them for free nowadays. But back in the day when I didn't work in the video game industry, I used to fund all that myself, and it was a lot of money that was coming out of my bank account. That isn't the case anymore. So I agree with him to a lot of extent as well. The piracy thing only seems to, and I'm saying this now because I genuinely have no idea, but the piracy thing only seems to be happening now for PC games. Can you actually crack your PlayStation 4 or 5 or your Xboxes? I don't think you can anymore. So the piracy must just be for the PC games. So I can see where he's coming from. I think it does fall on us, the consumers, to buy these games and support them at launch. There's a reason why they end up going into the charts as top ranking ones, because they've grossed a lot of money. If they don't end up getting the money back for the game, the chances of you seeing a sequel are probably going to go by the wayside. It's the same as films. The reason they end up getting sequels is because they've done better than they initially budgeted for. And the response and the Rotten Tomatoes scores would have been through the roof. They can see why a sequel would be feasible. If we don't support the games at launch, then it's kind of it does kind of fall on our heads a little bit, albeit he said it in a very, very direct and no holds barred way.
Do you know what? it could be a nice person, and I don't know him. But if you love a game, buy it at fucking full price. Is the way it's written there. I don't know that. I don't know the context or the tone of how that is. But that for me is an absolute dick sentence. If you love a game, buy it at fucking full price. How do I know I love a game? Until what if I played Days Gone on PS Plus and loved it? Do I then go, oh well, I've got it now. I love this game. I'm going to go out and find it at retail and pay full price for it at retail. Does it count then? Is it all? Does that work, or is it too late then because it's dropped down to 25 quid at retail? Is that not full price anymore? Do I just wire the developers 45 quid at that point in time? It's such a shit take. It's not a shit take. It's a shit angle to present a take. His take is actually really nice. I agree with the sentiment. I don't enjoy the way he's expressed that sentiment. He's frustrated. Clearly, he's frustrated because Days Gone. I mean, it's been a polarizing game. It's not The Last of Us, a runaway success, a new game for a new ISP that went out and did bits. Last of Us did that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Last of Us 2 might have been polarizing for whatever reasons, but still, absolutely smashed it. The game came out, worked exceptionally well. There was not a huge spate of bugs. It didn't make some people go, do you know what? It was all right. But yeah, it was all right. I mean, you finish a game and you think it's exceptional. That's it. There is no. If you finish a game, you think it was okay. All right. Some people thought Days Gone was exceptional. Some people thought Days Gone was okay. So that says there's already a couple of things there. The game isn't universally adored. It doesn't have to be universally adored, but it isn't. So fine. Okay, the game wasn't universally loved because it wasn't universally working. Okay, you've got two things now. The game is not for everyone, and the game didn't work well at the start. So you can't have a go at people for not buying it at full price if it didn't appeal. A lot of people, and I've said it before as well, I missed a lot of Days Gone's marketing. I saw some of Days Gone's marketing about 18 months after it happened, and I've mentioned it over and over again. That E3 video of being chased around with like a full horde of people coming after one guy, and it was quite intense. But I saw that. I missed it at E3, and I think it was like 12, 18 months later, as we got closer to launch, that I thought, oh, this actually looks pretty sick. So it wasn't necessarily plastered everywhere. So people weren't aware of it, and then the ones that were aware of it, it was a bit broken, and then the ones that stuck with it and got through the storyline, half of them didn't like it. People didn't like it, but it's coming to PS Plus has given it a chance for people to like it, and I do believe that has been good. The fact it's come to PC and the fact it has come to PS Plus has been huge for it. So if Days Gone ever wanted a sequel, it wasn't good enough to get one. Let's be blunt. It wasn't good enough to get one when it launched. Now it might be. So you can't have a go at people for not buying something that wasn't good enough. It is now. So celebrate that. Telling them to fucking buy it at full price is a dick move.
There is a different side to that, though. He said it wasn't potentially good enough at launch for it to be able to have a sequel. It's got a second wind now because people have got it for free. It's been available on PlayStation Plus for you to be able to download it, and part of the PlayStation collection as well. So it is now in people's hands, and a lot of them have probably given it the time of day. So, Coco, stop. So does that then give it? That's the only reason I played it, and I actually really enjoyed the game. I'm not going to mention the Sawmill because that can go fuck itself. But if there was to bring a sequel out now, I 100% would be buying that game. Because it's brought me in. There's a reason I'm going out and I'm buying Resident Evil 8 on release day, because I've got, believe it or not, an affection to the product itself. I've loved the franchise as a whole. I'm going out, regardless of whether or not this game is going to be absolute dog shit, I'm going out and I'm buying that game. I didn't have that with this. The E3 tech demos and trailers that we've seen made it look okay, and I probably was in, but I will wait for it to come on sale. Then it didn't. I forgot about it. It's now available for me to be able to be free and be played. I wonder if it isn't just about the money and it's about how many people are playing it and enjoying it, because I imagine the Metacritic score over the last, 6 months may have changed for the better or worse because more people have played it.
Yeah, I would say so. But that's irrelevant. Do you know who says that's irrelevant? The guy who makes the game. I think the uptick engagement with the game i.e. the amount of people playing it and talking about it right now, is not as important as did you buy the game at full price? Because if you did, then that's supporting the developers directly. So if you buy it now and you engage with the game now and you get it in PS Plus and stuff now, that's not important.
Yeah.
What matters is that you spent the money early on. Is it?
Okay.
Is that what matters? Is it though? I don't know.
So does that mean if they sold millions of versions of that game and it got a Metacritic score of 30, it would have had more chance to get a sequel because more people bought it? Bought it, hated it. Let's have a sequel rather than not many people bought it at launch. They've now got it. They actually like it. There's an availability. There's people wanting a second. It's been all over social media for the last 2 weeks, but that doesn't really matter. Because it didn't sell that well.
The thing is, as well, he also then goes on to say that PlayStation weren't bothered about sales, but were more bothered about critical reception. Then surely releasing a broken game would probably affect your critical reception. Maybe. So, yeah, like you say, if 1 million people bought it and it got 30%, that's still a shit critical reception. So you're not going to get your game anyway. In contrast to his comments, Asim says, you're not part of any problem, though. No one who doesn't buy a game at launch is. And obviously, it helps sales and profits more if you buy full price at launch. But what he fails to mention is the sales team will forecast based on price drops and the like into account when coming up with projections. There's no problem here. You can support the game whenever you want. What his comment shows me is that he has a narrow view of how the sales campaign and timeline actually works. Yes, if the game didn't meet those projections over a period of time, then it's less likely to get a sequel, but don't blame consumers. Have a look at the quality of the game and the marketing around it. Exactly. That is what it is for me. I agree with his sentiment. Where you can, support your developers, because your developers should be supported. And I mean that on every level. Ben Studios, working directly for Sony, is quite a big developer. I also mean those one-man band, New Star Soccer-esque sort of like games. I don't know why I went straight to New Star Soccer. Maybe because it was a one-man band when I met him. I don't know if he still is anymore. Anyway, yeah, supporting your developers is not bad. And that's what I say. I don't disagree with his sentiment. But the way he's gone about that is just so not even bull in a china shop. It's arrogant dick in a china shop. That's what it is. If you love a game, buy it at full fucking price. Buy it at fucking full price is his words. It's just the anger and the expectation there. If you love a game, buy it. Don't play the demo because there wasn't one. Don't see all of the trailers and the marketing that was exceptional worldwide because there wasn't really any. And don't listen to your friends that are already playing it because they're already telling you that it's broken. Just buy it blindly. No, that's not how any consumer should work. The issue is already in there before that. Give them a good game, and then there we go. But yeah, the engagement and stuff that they have now, he should be saying, do you know what should have been important at first is getting sales at full price. That would have got us Sony's attention. That didn't work. So what is more important now is making hay when the sun shines. We have the sun shining right now. We are in the spotlight because of all the stuff we've done. We should use this engagement time to make sure that we get Days Gone 2. That's how we should be positioning it. But instead, he's blamed the consumers because he's not getting what he wants.
Yeah.
That's not it, Chief. This ain't it, Chief. Hashtag catwatch.
That ain't it. That's one way to alienate the player base.
Show says, thing is, demos don't happen as much anymore like they used to. If they offered lengthy demos en masse, then this take would have some legs. Exactly.
Just don't make it as complex as a Resident Evil one. You get to
go. I mean, you can get a demo, but you have to be there at the right place in the right time, and you have to have the password. Someone will meet you on a park bench wearing a waistcoat and sunglasses, and will say the password. You have to respond with the appropriate response to that password. He will then give you a key. That key doesn't allow you to download the game. That key has to be inserted into a website. We're not telling you which website. You just have to find the website without any guidance. Once you've inserted that key into that website, you will then get a download code. That download code doesn't work for you. That download code works for your friend who has to download it and then invite you to play as a second player on their guest game. Welcome to the Resident Evil demo. Pow! No! Just give me the fucking game. Not for 60 minutes either. Let me try it now. I need to go and get my tea. Come back. Oh, my 60 minutes have gone. Unlucky. It's the same with anything. If I go into Next buy a shirt I see 6 months ago for 50 quid and it's now been reduced to 25, should I give them the full 50 quid? Should I? Fuck. His take is complete and utter BS. Price fluctuation happens across all products from games to tickets to clothings to kids' toys. For sure. Tina says, don't get demos anymore. Consoles don't do refunds. Game trailers only ever include cutscene footage representative of gameplay. Maybe the industry should do something to help themselves. I mean, apparently they are. Apparently demos are a thing again. The issue with demos is that a lot of people got their experience and stopped playing. So games according to the stats, demos were damaging sales. Whereas it seems that actually, do you know what, demos might have had a good reason and might have helped lead to sales. Maybe if the demos were decent and representative of a decent game, then maybe people would buy them. I don't know. So the industry seems to be leaning more towards demos. Sorry, what were you saying then?
That was the best part of getting like the PlayStation magazine, and you're there, and you've got the 5 or 6 demos inside a jewel case, or you buy the Xbox One, you had the same thing, or the PC Gamer used to do it way back when as well. Those were the days, man. But everyone loves digital, so that's the thing with the digital stuff in it, because how many times have we seen it where demos come out and people have been able to go into the back end, find out all the things. I don't know why they do it. I don't know why they do it. Video game companies, when they do release a demo, hide everything that's in the game behind one little segment that people can just tick a box, unlock the rest of it, and then you got the full game there behind it. It makes no sense.
It's like we've got a really thin, easily moved curtain that says, "Please don't pull me back." Oh, okay. Oh, there's the rest of the game. Nice.
You download the demo with 75 gig, and you're like, "What the fuck?" It's an half-an-hour demo with 75 gig, and then you go, okay, that's the full game behind there, and we just got a little slice of it. They've shot themselves in the foot many times. Video games beforehand.
Yeah, it's either the full game or spoilers or new partners, new brands, new licenses, new characters. Yeah. Anyway,
they'll never just cut out the 2 gig that you need for the demo. They'll just give you the full thing. It's bonkers. But here we go.
Do we just make something that protects ourselves, or do we just stick a big cut out around the rest of it and say, only look at this bit? Yeah, well, it would be quicker for us to do that bit. We'll do that. No one's gonna look behind the curtain, are they? That's not how the internet works. No, it is. That is how the internet works. And tell you how we work. By finishing the show. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for yet another episode of The Scoop in 2 parts. I appreciate you for sticking around after the first part. We did drop off, but we have had a very big conversation around the ESL, the European Super League, and what that means for football mainly, and then with a little bit of an extrapolation of how that can impact on games. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for the conversations. We do this each and every single weekday at 10 a.m.-ish, so feel free to join us for the rest of the week. We will be here delivering you more thoughts and impressions. No doubt we'll keep you updated with ESL as it goes, but we will also give you the news that we've shelved, because we had 3 other articles that we're going to jump into today that we'll move them forward to tomorrow, unless something better, something spicier pops up. For now, though, we are going to wrap things up. We're going to jump off, and we will jump back on for it's probably going to be about an hour and a half now, because work things, but an hour and a half, maybe up to 2 hours of State of Decay. So if you want to see some State of Decay 2 on PC, using Xbox downloady stuff, I've got the game on the Xbox and you can download it to the PC, which is wonderful. Nice, GG Xbox. Anyway, didn't cost me anything extra. Imagine that, PlayStation. Imagine that. That's what we're going to be doing now. So yeah, stick around for that. Until then, though, before then even, should I say, Bib, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yes, again, thank you very much for your continued support, ladies and gentlemen. The first show of the week has now been completed. If you do want to get involved with our show and help shape it, there's 2 ways that you can do that. First of all, find us on social media at Ice Cream Uploads across all major social media platforms, or find us on Discord. The link should be in the chat. If you are watching this on video on demand, everything that you will need is in the description below. All we need from you is a URL plus your thoughts and impressions. We will then give you our thoughts and impressions on the very next show, which will be at what time tomorrow, Mr. Graham Day?
It's about 11, mate. No, sorry, I mean 10 a.m.
That's more realistic. About 11, lad.
10 a.m.-ish.
Great style.
Nice.
That wasn't even a slip of the tongue, that was it?
No, I did that on purpose. About 11, mate. So yeah, join us at 10 a.m.-ish tomorrow, and we will see you for the next episode of The Scoop. Until then, have yourselves a fantastic day. We'll see you in a few if you're watching on Twitch for State of Decay 2. If not on YouTube, we'll see you then. Until then, stay frosty!